What's up, guys? It's sixth period on Monday, and I have only 4 people in the room. We have like, I don't know, 80 something percent of this class is online. Some of them temporarily, and some of them for good. But I'm not going to post a new assignment today because we are working on some big ones. The story first draft that I posted a few days ago is probably going to take you a few days. So I don't want to add another thing and pile on when you haven't done, and especially I haven't graded it. I got to do that. That's my plan for myself today, is to go through these and grade some of these guys. Not only that, not just putting a number in the grade book, but when I look at these, when I look at the outline of the first paragraph, I will put comments usually on the document and not on like the Google Classroom thing. So if you see nothing on Classroom, check the document, because I'll usually put comments on there. And it'll say stuff like, not right or wrong, but stuff like, hey, in your first draft, do more of this, do less of this, make this part more clear, or maybe think about rearranging it to throw in a flashback or something. I'm really focusing on the delivery of those key elements that we talked about. So I'm not going to correct your spelling and grammar or anything. I'm not going to correct the science, if it's a science fiction story or something. Maybe we'll look at that stuff later, but I'm going to look at these key things just one more time to recap. I know I've said it a bunch, but your character wants something right at the beginning, and we know right at the beginning. We don't have to watch them and try to figure it out. Okay? Obviously, that can change later, and it can grow and expand and turn good or turn bad. Just like in some of our examples, the use of force was about a doctor who wanted to diagnose a patient, and at the end, he's like fighting, and he has a line that's like, oh, I could have torn her apart and enjoyed it, or something. So he actually switches completely and is in the opposite mode. He's trying to hurt this person instead of help. But at all steps along the way, he had a goal, and we knew what it was, and we were not lost. Okay? And what was the other one we read? Last Rung on the Ladder. We have these kids who want to climb this ladder because they have a game and they want to jump off and have a sort of theme park ride type thrill. And then it changes. They try to survive when the ladder breaks, and then when they get into the old adult versions of the characters, then they have a new concern. But at every point, they had a goal and they were working toward it, even if that changed. Okay, if you ever have your character kind of sitting around with nothing to do, that's when it becomes hard to write what's next, and hard to understand where you're going if you're reading it. And then they have a problem. This part's usually easy. Something goes wrong. They can't get it right away, because otherwise the story would be over. And then the last part, which is usually the last thing you come up with, is they change. They have some kind of reaction. They grow and get better, or they become tragic and go to the dark side, or they grow up and find a new thing to go after. It really depends, but they have to have some kind of change. If you end up exactly the same, then the reader's going to go, well, why did I even go through this if it ends with no difference? So you got to have those things, and that's what I'm mainly looking for when I comment on these guys, and that's what I'm going to be looking for when we grade the first draft. If you are done with all that and you want to, work ahead, I'm not going to post the next assignment, but I can tell you what it's going to be, and we'll have a little post about this next class. It's going to be to pick a goal of something you want to accomplish with your story. It might be to build up to a big twist. It might be to have a fight scene near the end. It might be to build a fantasy world and tell us all the rules about the creatures and magic. It could be all kinds of things, but you kind of want to like pick one goal as like the, you know, the special element that you want to focus on. There was a question like that in an earlier assignment that says like, what's the cool thing you want to include? And for this next assignment, it's going to be find somebody else who did a good job with that, like a movie, a book, a story, TV series or something. Find somebody else and then list what they did so that you can learn from it, like how they set up the twist or how they delivered the rules of their world or something like that. So if you want to move on, if you got your first draft turned in, then feel free. Otherwise, I'll end this video before it becomes super long. Thanks.